A surprising number of Bible characters spend time in prison. Joseph is in prison for supposedly raping Potiphar's wife. Samson arguably deserved prison for his violence, and perhaps Kings Zedekiah and Jehoiakim deserved imprisonment as sinful leaders. However, Daniel and his three friends didn't deserve imprisonment for refusing to join in with pagan religions, and the prophets Jeremiah, Micah, and Hannai were imprisoned because the king didn't like the message that God gave them. In the New Testament, prisons held John the Baptist, Peter, and other apostles, and Paul and Silas. Prison is a great place to find Jesus. A friend of mine in Cambridge offered to work in prison as a chaplain and found that prisoners were very receptive to the gospel. Of course, many were just as resistant as they were outside, but others were much more open. They didn't need convincing that something was wrong with their lives, and they had plenty of time to think about the good news he shared with them. After some time, a significant number of people had become Christians, and the prison governor offered him a full-time paid post because he needed fewer guards in the wing he'd been working in. Paul, of course, spent a lot of time in prison. He rejoices because he's able to spend time writing, and we have at least 5 letters he wrote from prison. Actually, I think Paul was rejoicing through gritted teeth, because it must have been frustrating to be stuck in one place when he had helped spread the gospel through so much of the Roman Empire. If only he'd known how important those letters were going to be. God can use prison, but not without the action of his people. Paul needed people to visit him in prison, to bring him news and deliver letters. People who become Christians in prison need help coming to faith and understanding how to live their new lives, and they'll need help when they come out. But visiting prisoners is not just about adding people to the kingdom. It's also an expression of Christian love to those in need. Jesus' most terrifying parable of heaven and hell is the sheep and the goats, which he told just before his arrest and imprisonment. He characterizes the sheep as those who help him. I needed clothes, and you clothed me. I was sick, and you looked after me. I was in prison, and you came to visit me. When the goats protest they'd never seen Jesus in these situations, he says, whatever you did not do for one of the least of these, you did not do for me. Some interpret this parable as referring only good done to Christians. But this would contradict the rest of Jesus' teaching, such as, if you love only your own people, what are you doing more than others? Do not even the pagans do that? Christians don't only help those who are Christians or who might convert. The criterion isn't whether they are interested in Jesus, but whether Jesus is interested in them. Although there are Christian organisations working in prisons, this is a neglected area for many Christians today. Prisoners are out of sight, out of mind. We have largely forgotten about them, but Jesus hasn't. God bless.